You're looking to elevate your everyday outfits, but you feel like you have tried everything. You've looked at the fashion girlies on Pinterest, watched the videos, followed on IG, put the fits together, bought the pieces, and yet it's just not giving what you want it to give. And I have been there, struggled through it, and spent the last couple of years really honing in, understanding the fashion basics, improving my style to help you today save the time and stress of trying to elevate your everyday looks by showing you some of the simple mistakes that you might be making and the really easy fixes that you can make to truly take your style to the next level, even for your everyday casual looks. If you happen to be new here, I am Jordan Blackwell, former materials engineer turned lifestyle content creator behind Little Miss JB Style, sharing with you life's possibilities through style to help you not just look good, because baby, of course I want you to look good, but I want you to feel good too, because honestly, that is the key to having amazing style, is not just looking good, but developing that confidence in yourself and in your decisions that really shines through on the girlies. So grab your little drinky drink. I have a lavender haze from Drifter, so delicious. And let's dive right in, because I'm not sure if you've heard this trending audio that was going around on TikTok, and I'm sure it has made it to Instagram. If you're not going to add interest through texture, you need to add interest through shape. And if you're not going to add interest through shape, you need to add interest through color. But the thing is, before you can even do that well, you really need to understand the basics. The style mistake that we have all made, and baby, trust me, I have made this myself plenty of times, is understanding all of the style advice, all the style tips that you have probably heard and seen are centered around creating balance, not just balance from your vertical proportions and your horizontal proportions, which I'll dive into in a second, but also through color, through texture, through shape, through your accessories, through layering, to really pull together a look. So I'm going to give you a deep dive into the mistakes we make when trying to create balance in our outfits, how you can fix them across the board, again, whether it's through texture, through color, through patterns, accessorizing, to elevate your everyday looks. Starting up with creating balance through proportions, as Coco Chanel said, even though she is problematic, fashion is architecture. It is a matter of proportions. And she couldn't be more right here, right? So the thing that we need to understand when it comes to creating balance, and the very first thing that is why your outfits are just not hitting real, and it's okay. I have been here. It's that you don't actually understand your body, right? And I've been there myself. I thought I had a certain body shape, and it turns out, surprise, surprise, I do not. And if this is something that you have been struggling with, I have an entire video dedicated to understanding your body, the easy way to take measurements, so you not just understand your horizontal proportions and your body shape, but your vertical proportions too, because that is something the girlies are not talking as much about, and they need to, because as you'll learn later when I get into how you can create balance through layering, it makes all the difference having that understanding of your body shape. So I'm not going to dive too deep in understanding your proportions, but I'm going to give you my sneaky trick that is going to make literally the biggest difference without any money, because baby, having great style does not mean you need to break the bank when it comes to nailing your proportions and getting it right for your body shape. The biggest mistake that we all make, and I did this often, is not buying pieces that actually work with our body. And that is why knowing your body shape is so important. I am pear shaped, I have a short torso. I talk about this all the time. And so the pieces that I need to buy, where my tops need to start, where my pants need to rise up to, that is going to be different for me and people with my body shape compared to others and their body shape. And this is something that we miss sight of when we are looking at all the inspo, because it's so quick to be like, oh, okay, she got body, but she just chose the right pieces to stop in a way that works best for her figure. So if you are struggling with this, start paying attention to your pieces, where they start and where they stop, and what you not only feel like you look good in, but you feel good in. And that's how you're going to start elevating your everyday outfit. Going back to that trending audio, if you're trying to add interest to your outfits through shape, you might be struggling, because if you don't understand your body shape, you can't figure out where you should be adding that volume, where you should be adding that shape to create the interest in a way that looks amazing for you. And here are just some examples of how shape really can elevate your everyday outfit, even with a basic button up or an elevated basic in jeans. There's so many ways that you can use shape to elevate your outfits, but understanding your proportions is the key to that. And not just your shape, but again, touching on the vertical proportions and the rule of thirds. Now, you've probably heard the girlies mention the rule of thirds. And fashion girlies, we all know there are like 20 different rule of thirds, and they apply in so many different ways. What I'm speaking about here when creating balance is understanding that your outfit combinations should really be broken down into a 1/3 to 2/3 ratio. And here's some examples of what a 1/3 to 2/3 ratio looks like, right? This example is where your outfit creates 2/3 with the top half versus the lower half of your body. And here's an example of how you create the 1/3 to 2/3 ratio, where the 1/3 is the top half of your body and the 2/3 is the lower half. This is why understanding your torso to leg ratio is so important and comes into not just the base of your outfits, which is why your outfits may not be giving that elevated look you're going for, but also when you are layering, picking jackets, picking trench coats, and not seeing that they're stopping in the wrong place to play into this rule of thirds that's keeping you from reaching peak outfit elevation. Before we dive into how to balance out one of my favorite ways to add interest to a look, do me the quickest favor. If you are finding this video even the least bit helpful, go ahead and boop that like button. That lets me know to keep creating videos like this for you on my channel. And thank you so, so much for doing that real quick. Now, I love texture. It is no surprise if you've seen any of my other videos. I stand through using texture to add interest to my look. Now, what I love about texture is it's not as complicated to create balance through texture in your looks. This is where the other rule of thirds, I know it's like JB, hold on, you just threw one at me. But the other rule of thirds that you've probably heard a lot of people mention is like adding that third piece of interest, right? You have a top, a bottom, adding that jacket, adding that bag, or adding that shoes. This this also can be applied kind of the rule of threes when it comes to creating an outfit with texture, is that you want to have at least three different textures, right? So say you have a cotton top and you have cotton pants, then you want to have a different texture in your shoes and a different texture in your bags. And this is what that looks like, right? And whether you are minimalist or maximalist, this rule applies across the board. Whether you're integrating color with texture or patterns with texture, or you're keeping it very, very minimal. Texture is such an easy, affordable way because there's so many different textures out there, from fuzzy knits to faux leathers to cotton to fringe. There's so many ways that you can add texture to your outfits that's going to elevate a very simple look and really give that like je ne sais quoi that you see in a lot of the girlies that you're trying to emulate when it comes to style. Moving into balancing color, even if you are a minimal girly, you should not have a closet devoid of color, okay? Because that is a very easy way to elevate your looks, and it doesn't have to be bright neons and bright pinks and bright yellows. You can do muted tones as well, but having color, there are a couple ways that you can elevate your outfit while doing this and keeping that balance. The first thing you need to understand is the color wheel. And very basically, the color wheel is going to help you figure out complementary colors and contrasting colors as well. And this is so important because one of the reasons we fail so much when it comes to adding color to our outfits, right? And I used to do this all the time, is that I didn't understand the different shades are going to impact whether or not these colors are actually going to work well together, right? And what I mean by that is if you pick one color head to toe monochrome, right? Say green. Wearing different shades of green, generally you're going to be able to put together an outfit that looks coherent, especially if you, again, keeping in mind how we use the rule of thirds when it comes to texture. Having three different shades of green would add interest and it still is going to be cohesive. However, when you start adding another color in there, what happens is if you play with different shades, say a darker green and a super, super bright pink, you're going to start to get too much contrast, and that's going to create an imbalance in your outfit. And that's the one thing I used to fail at all the time, baby. And do not get me wrong, there are exceptions to the rules, and those are done so, so intentionally. But if you are somebody struggling to elevate your outfits and incorporating that color or even patterns, this is why you may just be choosing the wrong shades that don't go well together. Like, yes, green and pink go together, but you need to make sure that the shades are similar in terms of vibrancy, like how bright they are, for that to really just pop the way that that pop of color should work, or if you're doing monochrome as well, right? And speaking of contrast, the other sneaky tip that so many girlies are not mentioning when you want to elevate an outfit is understanding that balance is about having contrast. One of the mistakes I see a lot, especially when it comes to like feminine styling and modest styling, not that there's anything wrong with those principles, is that it's too much of one thing. And like anything in life, too much of a good thing, as Sam Smith would say, too much of a good thing creates imbalance again. So when you are thinking about mixing textures and mixing colors, you want to make sure that there is that balance and you want to make sure that there is some contrast, right? So that's the reason why a green and a pink can look good together, because green is more earth tones while pink is just something vibrant and a little unnatural. It's the same reason that like silky material looks so good when paired with leather, right? Because the silk is flowy and soft and feminine, but that harshness from the leather really just gives it that something different. So that is another sneaky style tip that I swear by to easily elevate my outfits for the free. If you're really loving all of this style advice and you want even more style advice, plus some discounts to pieces that you're already buying, things like that, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. I send it out once a month because, baby, who wants to be bombarded with tons of emails? But it is filled with roundups of new and pieces to buy, exclusive style tips, outfit ideas, capsule wardrobe, whatever kind of fun new information I have found to just dress better and feel good, packed into one easy email. If you want good, reliable style advice, discounts to pieces you're already going to be buying, go ahead and sign up to that using the link. Now let's get into creating balance through layering. And this is again where understanding your vertical proportions is so important, and keeping that rule of thirds in mind that I shared about in the proportions with the 1/3 to 2/3 ratio. Unexpected layering is such a great way to add interest. And again, you probably have a lot of pieces that you can layer in fun ways already in your closet. Some of the easiest ones I've definitely seen is like the shirt under a sweatshirt, a corset over like a t-shirt or over a blazer, even over like a crochet dress, vest layered over jackets. I actually have an entire video coming up soon showing you all the ways that you can unexpectedly layer to take one outfit and elevate it in so many different ways. So if layering is something that you have struggled with and you want to use more of to elevate your outfits, there is a link to that video in my description for you. Now that we've talked about how to understand your body so that you can pick the right pieces to create balance for your horizontal proportions and your vertical proportions, how you can integrate texture to elevate your style, color to elevate your style, and of course, some fun layering ideas, accessories, which is the other very favorite way that I love to elevate an outfit because it's so affordable and so easy. And creating balance with your accessories truly isn't difficult. Like, I love a good pair of sunglasses. Usually, you're going to see me in statement earrings, some statement rings. The key here, and what I really want to challenge you when it comes to your accessories, is to lean into your personal preferences, because even if everyone wore the same base, say like a cute bodysuit and some work trousers, the way you accessorize is really going to tell me just about everything. And the key to creating balance when it comes to your accessories, really, we're going to break it down by category really quick. Starting with bags, because bags are generally the easiest. You really want to keep in mind the shape of the bag. Choosing the wrong shape of bag, like choosing the wrong shoe, is going to make all the difference, right? And the key is to just keep your body shape in mind. And that is why understanding your body is just so important, because a lot of why our outfits fall flat is just that lack of understanding of our body shape and the things that are going to work with it, right? So choosing the right bag is going to make all the difference. And generally speaking, you want a bag with a similar shape to what you have or the outfit you've put together, right? So if you are somebody who's adding volume with a top or adding volume with a skirt, then you need to pay attention to the type of bag you're choosing and making sure that it aligns. And here's a couple of really great examples of that. Now, when it comes to shoes, I'm not going to go too deep into this either, because I just made a video on how to choose the right shoes, because baby, Miranda Priestley definitely showed us that the wrong shoes, yeah, that can be a big mistake. So if that's something that you've been struggling to figure out how to choose the right shoes, I have a whole video on that that you can check out as well. Last is jewelry, right? I mean, there are scarves, there are belts. Those are not things that I personally dabble in as much, but if that's something you are interested in me diving deeper into, let me know in the comments. I will be so glad to make a video on that. But when it comes to jewelry, I want us to move away from like dainty is timeless, because at the end of the day, timeless is not just neutrals, it's not just dainty, it's not just minimal. Timeless fashion can be colorful, it can be fun, it can be bold. And this is why it's so important to pay attention to what you personally like. And I'm also thinking about putting together an entire video on accessorizing with jewelry, because like earring stacks, as someone who doesn't have, don't let the nails fool you, really actually long, slender fingers. I have very average hands, and I have personally been trying to figure out the right kind of necklace stack to just be like that fashion girly. And truly, accessories and balancing accessories is trial and error. And it's not even like more is too much, right? There are so many girlies that show us time and time and again, layering all the necklaces, all the rings, all of that can be so fun and so timeless. The key here when you are creating that balance is really to think about contrast. Again, coming back to that contrast. If you've got an outfit that is actually fairly minimal, I encourage you then to play and go a little bit harder with your jewelry, do bigger accessories, do more necklaces, do more rings. It's going to add that personality and really just set you apart and let you be different. I think, again, so often we confuse timelessness with devoid of personality. Like, honestly, I just see so much confusion around like, you have to be devoid of like style and color and anything with personality to be timeless. And that is not true, because true style, great style, timeless style that never goes out of fashion, that always looks and feels good, really comes down to understanding what you like to wear, what you feel amazing in, and standing and owning that. That is something I want to encourage you to have. And if you feel like Jordan, JB, I am struggling, I really don't know quite what I like. I actually don't know what's me, what isn't me. And I am trying to branch out and find my personal style and really take it to the next level, then you need to go ahead and check out this entire playlist, not only digging into understanding your body, but using the clothes you already have to develop your style and understand what you like and what you love to not just look good, because of course that's a goal, but to feel good as well. But before you do, make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a video on how to find what is going to make you feel good, not just in fashion, but beauty and travel and other areas of life as well. And thank you so, so much for watching. I'll see you over there.